skill we're going to talk about today for badminton is serving. Obviously, the games are a lot more fun if you can serve it in. Okay, and it's a skill that everyone's going to need to know. First thing you need to know is that there will be tees on the court. Okay, this will divide the court in half and show the area you have to serve from behind. Okay, so there'll be simulating 2 boxes on each side of the net. And when I serve, I have to make sure I'm serving diagonally across. And you can see Mr. Gibbs right now is positioned diagonally across from where I would be. Okay, I have to serve underhand. So there's no overhand spike serves or anything like that. It's got to be an underhand serve. When you're serving underhand, you've got to hold the birdie by the feathers. Okay, I'm holding it by the feathers, and then I have to contact the cork of the birdie first. Okay, so there's no hitting it off the feathers. You got to hit it off the cork, underhand, and diagonally across to the person in the opposite serving box. So first action, I would look to be here and serve across. Now you can see I put that as low as possible on the net and tried to make it more difficult for Mr. Gibbs to hit back. Okay, what I don't want to do is I don't want to hit high lofting serves to Mr. Gibbs on the other side of the net, making it very easy for him to get underneath and make an attacking shot at me. Okay, next thing, if you're a beginner badminton player and you're struggling with your serve, we don't want to have a lot of extraneous movements and make it crazy. What you want to do is keep it real simple. Okay, I like to bring nice and low, get up close to the net, almost as close as I can to this front line of the tee, and just use just my wrist. Just a quick flick of the wrist right here will easily serve the ball, excuse me, the birdie over the net.
Now that we understand how to serve, let's talk about the rest of the rules and etiquette for badminton. Before we even get started on rules, let's make sure that we care for the equipment. We don't ever want to smash the badminton racket on the floor against the net. We don't want to high five racket to racket with our partners. We don't want to throw them in the box after class. We want to make sure that we're always taking care of our badminton rackets. We also want to take care of the nets. The nets will all be connected. We don't want to ever walk underneath the net, because if we knock it down, the whole entire setup could collapse, and it takes a long time to set it back up and risks injury for people in the class. So please walk around the nets when you're moving from court to court. Now, boundaries of the court. On the side, we're going to have to use the imaginary line of where the pole extends to. Okay, we don't have lines drawn on the side, so you have to eyeball it. If the two sides can absolutely not agree on whether it was in or out, then the point has to be replayed. In the back, you have the gray lines. If the birdie lands inside the line or on the line, then it is considered in. If it's outside the line, it is considered out. Please remember that it is where it first hits the ground. So if it first hits the ground in and then bounces 2 or 3 times to where it is out, it is considered in. It's where the birdie first makes contact with the ground. Remember that we have to serve diagonal, and we have these lines here. So when I serve, I have to serve diagonal to the person over there. If my serve goes across the net to the person directly in front of me, then it is considered out, and it will be the other team's point. Likewise, on a serve, the people receiving the serve cannot run in front of this line. This is considered the smash zone, and they cannot run up here to receive the serve. The serve has to be received in this box. As far as the net is concerned, you are not allowed to reach over the net. You are not allowed to crash into the net. You are not allowed to step across onto the other team's side, so you have to stay on your side of the net at all times. If the birdie grazes the net and goes over on a regular shot, that is considered in, and it would count. On a serve, if it grazes the net and goes over, chances are it will not make it into the service box, and therefore it will be out. If for some reason it grazes the net and does make it all the way into the service box, then it will be a reserve. Other than that, there are no bads or redos on a serve. If you miss a serve, you don't get another chance, and if you miss that serve, the other team gets the point and they win the serve. There are no redos. Scoring is rally scoring, which means that whoever wins the point gets the point. You do not need to serve in order to win a point. Now let's talk about some of the rules of badminton. One of the most important rules to understand is how the serving rotations work. The first thing you have to know is that you always serve the first point of the game from the right side. So right now in our game, the score is 0-0, so Mr. Neely is going to serve from the right side. Then all you have to remember is that if your score is an even number, you serve from the right, and if your score is an odd number, you serve from the left. If you do it correctly, you should always end up with the right person in the right position. But again, even score serves from the right, odd score serves from the left. It stays Mr. Neely's serve until the other team wins it, and then the next time it becomes our serve, it will be mine. Now, let's see what this looks like in a real game. So, Because this is the first point of the game, Mr. Neely is going to serve from the right side. The score is 0-0. He's going to serve diagonal like we talked about. We win a point. Nice smash by Mr. Neely. So the score is now 1-0. It stays his serve as long as he keeps winning points. We have 1. 1 is an odd number, so now he serves from the left. Again, serves diagonal. So he serves to Miss Erskine. We win another point. Nice shot, Mr. Neely. Now we're up 2-0. It stays his serve until they win a point. It's 2-0. We have 2. 2 is even, so he serves from the right. This time they win the point. Oh, nice shot by Mrs. Petty. Now the score is 1 serving 2. 1 is an odd number, so the person on the left is going to serve. So Miss Erskine is on the left. They don't have to switch. They're not allowed to say Mrs. Petty is a better server, so let's quickly switch positions. The person who is on the left is going to serve. That is Miss Erskine. She's going to serve diagonally to me. Score is 1 serving 2. We win another point, and the score is now 3-1. Okay, because we're up 3-1, 3 is an odd number. Odd serves from the left, and because we did it correctly, the person who is already on the left is me, and now it naturally switches between Mr. Neely and myself. So this point, it's 3-1. 3 is odd. I would serve from the left, and we would continue from there.
Okay, there are 5 shots we're going to talk about today in regards to different badminton strokes you can use. First thing though, however, is how do I grip the racket? You want to hold the racket normally, and you want to do it as if you're shaking someone's hand. So now I make sure that I have my racket face open on both sides, whether I'm using a forehand, which is on, for me as a right-handed player, would be on the right-handed side of my body. Okay, on the backhand would be the opposite, would be across on the left-hand side of my body as a right-handed player. Now obviously for a lefty, it would be the reverse. A left-handed forehand would be on the left side, and a left-handed backhand would be on the right side. Okay, going into some strategic shots, which we'd like to see you guys use more of in class rather than just hitting it back and forth. Okay, we'll first start with the clear. Okay, so if Mr. Gibbs is on the other side of the net, and I hit a short shot, and he comes up towards me, and he starts moving his body towards the net, I'm going to want to try to send it to the back of the court to make him move as much as possible. We don't want to just play the ball to the middle of the court the whole time. We want to challenge him to have to move around. So as he's up to the front of the net, a clear shot would look something like that, sending it to the back of the court and making Mr. Gibbs move towards the back. Now, Mr. Gibbs is going to hit this one back to me, okay, and I'm going to show you what a drop shot might look like. Okay, so he's on that side of the net. He's going to hit it to me. He's deep. Maybe he got to that clear shot that I hit, and now he finds himself at the back of the court. I'm going to now want to use what we call a drop shot, which would be this nice, gentle touch, trying to put it right over the top of the net. Okay, so I hit it to Mr. Gibbs. He comes back to me, and I drop a little drop shot right in front of him to make him move around the court. Now you can see it's not a big swing for that drop shot. Sometimes I like to make it look like I'm going to hit it really hard, and then just lightly tap it over the net, so Mr. Gibbs has to come forward and we force him to move. Okay, the final shot, and probably my favorite, is the smash. So this would be when Mr. Gibbs has just been running around all over the place, and he puts one up nice for me. Okay, he's going to hit it right now, nice and high in the air. Okay, hit it nice and high in the air to me, and I'm going to be able to whip it back down at him as hard as I can. Okay, so what that is playing it kind of like a serve in volleyball. You want to play it in front of your body, and you want to snap your wrist down over the top. So you want to get on top of the birdie with your racket. Okay, a common mistake to the smash is I get my body underneath it and I play it over my head. And you can see that my racket is angled to the ceiling now, and that's just going to hit it up in the air and make it easier for Mr. Gibbs to come back and give me a smash. So keep it in front, let the birdie come here, and then snap the wrist over the top. Now that we've talked about some different shots used in badminton, let's talk about playing with a partner. The most important thing that can happen when playing with your partner is making sure you keep the court balanced. Now, Coach Gibbs and I are on a team right now, and we're going to play doubles during the year. So in class, it'll be a doubles match. So different times throughout the match, each one of us will be moving to different locations, and the other person has to maintain the court balance. So for example, if Coach Gibbs and I are playing, and the ball is played short, and he goes up to get it, I don't want to just stand where I am and not move, so that we leave the entire other side of the court wide open to have a shot get put in. Okay, he goes to the net, I want to move towards the back, and now I'm covering anything deep and he has anything short. Now, likewise, if I were to go deep and very far to play one back here, Coach Gibbs is going to cover anything to the short side. So basically, you want to be going opposite and working in a tandem with your partner. A second part to strategy is not just working in balance with your partner, but now it's making the other team have to move around the court as well. So we've talked about the different strokes you can use. So playing it short to make people come short, making them go deep to make them run deep. Okay, we want to move the other team around the court. That's one way and one strategy. We don't want to stand here with our rackets over our head, not moving, and just hitting it high and making it very easy for the other team. We want to realize if we have right-handed players on the other side, we want to try to make them play with their backhand, which will be less comfortable for them. Okay? Again, we also want to move people around the court. If one of the teams has a weaker player that we've determined is weaker, we want to play it towards the weaker player and make that player have to make more plays in order for us to secure victory.